Alright, there's something I didn't tell you before. It has to revolve. The uncle and the dad, okay? So one thing you don't know is that the uncle's a gang member. When he grows up and when he gives the dad advice, to keep working out, and don't care about being sore. He is coming from a very, closed-minded, drilling perspective that is made from garbage because all he wants are things out in the world that don't really come up and make sense. There's a thing I'm gonna make another video later on today about the uncle and the dad are part of it, all right, because it's very important. Because what happens when the nephew comes along when the dad's not around is he tells him all the stories really are connected to etiquette to help the nephew be a better person, like clean your room, if you go to a sports game really know something about it, but the problem with that, okay, quite plainly, is that what happened in the future. Literally, the nephew ended up killing the uncle. You wanna know why? Literally, because he came at him, from a very, simple perspective. He only had a handful of tools. Literally, you're not supposed to let a child catch up, a child caught up. Literally, because the difference between the uncle and the dad is that the dad calls out that the uncle is still in special ed, motherfucker. Literally, and it's true. It's very fucking true because the dad achieves, great, grand things, literally by wanting big shit, literally getting past the gang, literally getting into industrial society, literally, and three, not caring what the uncle was saying, all right, literally, and that has a lot to do, literally, with the mother being promiscuous. But anyway, it's something you need to know about the situation of my uncle. He's not really a big threat to me. In fact, people double imply that he's not hitting me at the continuity, but where he is, not affected me, through his own gain. It's the racism from, the lesbian cops. And the reason why that's the truth, right? The reason why, literally, I'm telling you this is for you to know the difference between me and him is retarded, because the lesbian cops that are retarded are pulling the strings from him. And, what they want is the Trump Act. Literally, all they want, literally, is to push their angle. And now how I told you, literally, how, I'm all through the delicacy, the blue with the anime, with all that shit. Literally, it infuriates, them because they don't understand that literally a gangster has a closed-minded perspective. Looking for you with the county, so that's all fucking dribble and Scooby-Doo bullshit, all right? Literally, that's one thing you need to understand, all right? So that has nothing to do with me doing the Hokers bound and me being Nokia, okay? It has nothing to do with that. You need to understand that, all right? That's why I'm not easy for you, even though you may inflict something. I already showed my worth, but hey, the Verizon Wireless bill is 1 year away, so I'm like, fuck that, all right? Literally, I didn't even do this shit anyway. Now, you may, feel something, you may hear something, but I told you, literally, what made me say was that damn family bullshit, all right? Literally. So I told you, literally, what's the difference between retarded? Retarded people cannot think. Literally, and Asperger's literally matches their original, continuity. All right? I'm gonna say a joke, for my boy Henry, for later on in this video, literally. And so I heard, literally, through all this fucking shit, through all this algorithm, that secretly they get destroyed by my party. My 8th grade party when Henry was actually there with Israel, Andre, and Ben. It's crazy, And the truth behind it, is, it's very vast, one thing you need to understand, through, is that I've been going hard. Chris is pissing me off with his fake job today. What ends up happening, over time is that, I recognize, a lot, good things are going through. I've done a lot for the community. That's the Salted Dome. So, before I ruin the video, I'm just going to cut it short.